I am very excited to have Carla Henny here as guest. She is co-owner and board member of the brand Nikin. Welcome, Carla.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure being here.
For those who don't know Nikin yet, can you please explain what is Nikin?
Yes. Nikin is a sustainable fashion brand with a simple concept. We plant one tree for each product that we sell. So we aim sustainability in a 360 aspect, not only planting trees, but also producing fairly materials and clothes and having social impact.
Talking about social impact, you've been on the Forbes, or you are a list maker of the Forbes under 30 in 2021. What kind of change did this list making make for Nikin, for your company?
Practically, there was no direct change. But for us, it's a huge recognition towards the world, towards the market, towards people, believers. So this is a huge stamp of recognition for us that we are doing the right thing and that there is someone that believes in us.
Very good. Can you tell me, since when does Nikin exist, and have you been with Nikin since the beginning?
So Nikin exists since 2016, so it was the foundation. I have been behind the scenes since then, but officially I joined in 2018 when we found the GmbH.
I understand. So now today this talk is happening while there is the Forbes Women Summit going on. So let's talk about women in business, especially in the fashion industry. I would assume that the fashion industry is typical female. Is that true, or what do you think?
Partially.
Partially.
In terms of clients, it's definitely a female industry. We have to point to the female target, so they are the buyers for us. But on the management side, there is a lot of men behind this industry, which is quite interesting. At Nikin, for example, the other two founders, they are men. So it's men designing the clothes. It's men designing or shaping a product for a woman. So that's quite a typical situation. This is typical in several companies as well.
So not only with Nikin, but like in the whole
others.
Fashion industry.
Exactly.
Do you have an idea why is it like that?
I can't say.
Maybe because there is money in this industry, a lot of money?
A lot of money, and I think at the end it's a business. So at the end, as sad as it sounds, there are more men focusing or more interested in business and business driven than woman. Woman is more social and more caring, and this is an industry that you have to fight hard. You need guts to fight with competition, and this, yes, men can do very well.
So this is like a typical or stereotypical idea we have of men. Do you believe that if there were more role models, women who are with this characteristic, who are like really strong going and can push through or power through, that there would be more women?
Absolutely. There is space for more women in the market. It's actually growing quite a lot. Unfortunately, it's very sad to hear that the majority of the founders are men, and also the funds, 97% go to men, not to
97. Oh wow.
97% of funds go to men than to women. So women, like the investors are aiming more women in the business, in the market, not only for fashion but for several industries as well, because it's a different dynamics of work. So there is space for women. We just need to want and support each other.
And to have role models like you.
Thank you.
So I've read that you are responsible for the finances and for the HR within Nikin. And now talking about stereotypes, so finances typically are run by men and the HR very often by women. So you do both now. Can you say that there is a difference in those two topics, or do you handle it just the same?
Completely different. It's completely different mindset, completely different thinking. I have to all the time switch off my brain, like switch the key. Finances and HR. In HR, I need to work with my heart, with the feeling. And finances is pure numbers driven and exact objective.
Ever had a problem with that?
Personally, yes. On the emotional side, in the beginning of Nikin, I used to involve very much in the problems of the employees. So this consumed a lot of emotions because I need to activate my emotional side, and I took the problems, I took the pain of the employees to me, and this was a problem for me.
And on the other side, in the finance area?
Yes, as well. Sometimes I need to be very rough with a presentation, with my point. And we women, we have emotions, obviously. So there are days that I'm in a sensitive day and I make a wonderful presentation. I have my point. Nobody can argue against my numbers. But there are people arguing and I just get emotionally sensitive. And this is also very hard to handle and to keep straightforward and objective within the numbers.
I understand that that we have a, well, that's also a stereotype. I guess it counts for men as well as for women, but let's stay in the stereotypes. So do you sometimes feel like you have to play a male role to get your point?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, yes. Okay. Do you think that this will ever change?
I hope so.
Yeah, me too, but
I would wish so. But that this changes, I think we among ourselves, within the women, we have to change that because subconsciously there is a competition to be better. Like I want to perform, I want to be better, I can manage more than you. So there is a competition of who can do more within the woman. And I think this is not healthy, and this will only change when we can dominate more and better handle each other.
Absolutely. Do you do active steps within your company? Is that a topic, diversity, not only about gender, but diversity in general? Is that an active topic? Yes,
that's
okay.
an active topic for us. We are very inclusive. So we try, for example, I am Brazilian. So that's already the first diversity in the company. But we try to get people from different nationalities and the ratio, men and women. And what is also funny, we have 60% employed women, 60%, the ratio is 60-40. But I work mostly with men.
Okay. How come? Because of the roles within the company?
Because of the roles.
Okay.
Because most of the men are in higher position.
I understand. And there any ways that you, maybe you're still a young company, but any ways that you are already building the steps for the women that maybe they can move up to the management or upper management level?
Definitely.
Yes.
That's our goal,
Okay.
that people can grow within the company and that we can teach them, shape them, that they can further have a higher position.
I understand. Very interesting. So tell me a bit more about Nikin. I mean, here in Switzerland, we've heard all of Nikin, and it's an impressive story that you have, and also visibility. What are your next steps?
Our next steps is going towards circularity. So we are breaking some boundaries here. In about 2 months, we are going to release a full circular product.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which we are very proud of. It's a full circular t-shirt, but it's not only the t-shirt, also it's the yarn that is fully circular, so you can recycle it forever. What happens with a normal cotton is that the yarn gets smaller and smaller over the time, and we are using a Swiss innovation called Ocean Safe. And they develop a yarn called Nanea that you can use for clothes, but for other products as well, and it never gets smaller. So you can...
how can I imagine that it does not wear out, or what do you mean by it gets smaller?
The yarn from the clothes, by the time you recycle, it reduces in size, so you can produce less with it.
Yeah.
And this one remains the same, so you can forever use it. Because the more you recycle, the smaller it gets, and at some point you will not be able to use it again. And with this one, you will forever be able to use it. And we are releasing a model to educate the customers the value of the material, that the value of your product, that there is a value that will increase over time, will not decrease. So we are going to have a model for sales that customers get money back the longer you wear your product.
Oh, wow. That's a very interesting model. Yeah. And how can I imagine that? So now I have a shirt of Nikin, or I will buy one of those new products, circular products. Can I then at some point return it to you, or what happens?
Yes, you can then return the product to us, and we have a time frame. So the material has value.
Yeah.
So you get the value of this material back. And if you return the product within 1 year, you get X amount split by X amount of years, and if you return it in 5 years, you get more money.
I get rewarded if I wear my stuff longer.
Exactly.
Super interesting. I'm looking forward to your launch. So in about 2 months. In November 2024. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Carla, for being here and for your insights.
Thank you so much for the interview. It was a pleasure.